Welcome back, Tweener heads. Welcome back to another very special interview today with Ellen Perez. Perez or Perez?
Honestly, I don't even know myself. I say Perez, but
Okay.
yeah.
We'll go with the way you say it. Ellen Perez, former Georgia Bulldog, now top 50 doubles player from Australia. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, yeah. Happy to be on the podcast.
No problem. Glad you can be here. The time difference is quite shocking, to be honest, but we're getting through it. It's now 8 a.m. for me. It's 10 p.m. your time, so it's fun to see the time difference and everything that's going on.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good excuse to get you up.
Thank you. I appreciate that. My lazy ass. The first question I had, and when I was doing my research, my very exclusive research and very thorough research, is when you first started playing tennis, you got a totem pole Christmas pole. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think it was when I was about 3 years old. I got gifted a totem tennis pole, which is just like a pole with a string attached and a ball in the end. And yeah, I just got that out. You just stick it into like grass, and I would go and hit the ball and just continuously make good contact, I guess, when I was young. And my dad thought I had potential. And it wasn't until I was about 7 though that I really started and went into some lessons and getting out on the court. But yeah, that's kind of where the dream came alive.
The dream came alive. I've never heard that term before. I've definitely heard like a ball like going around a pole to kind of like practice your hand-eye, but I've never heard like a totem pole tennis pole.
Oh, in Australia we have so many different things to America.
Oh,
we have
100%.
a term for everything, probably.
Why did you have the decision to go to Georgia? Because I feel like for a lot of international players, your first thought is, especially if your dad saw your potential, why not go straight pro? Why did you decide to go to college?
Yeah, I guess every situation is unique. I was kind of in a position where I think when I was looking at college, it was April, and if I was going to go, it had to be in August. So I didn't have much time. I'd always done the right study, kept myself eligible for the option, just knowing like it is a good pathway if I ever wanted to pursue it. And I think I was around 400 or 500 in the world at the time when I actually went. But I had suffered a lot of injuries growing up. At the time, I'd had spondylolisthesis in my back, and they'd put me out for 6 months. I'd had ankle stress fractures, elbow. Oh no, my elbow wasn't there, but I had a wrist issue. So I had been out of tennis for a while because of injuries, and I kind of wanted the option of being able to, have a degree as backup. You never know what's going to happen in tennis. And I also don't think I was really ready to go pro. Like, yeah, sure, I could be 400, 500, but I wasn't, going to crack 100 anytime soon. I didn't think so. I thought it was a good way to build some match confidence, learn to compete, get a degree, have an experience of a lifetime kind of thing. So that's how the whole college idea came about. As for Georgia, honestly, didn't really have much of an idea of the college system. I had someone in Tennis Australia who had obviously done the college pathway before and had a lot of contacts. So I think I sent out an email to maybe the top 50 colleges, just showing my interest, and I'd had quite a few, message on Facebook and whatnot, but I didn't know who was good, who wasn't, So I had a lot come back to me, kind of give me the spiel on what they could do for me, what they were ranked, blah, blah, blah. And I chose 5 colleges to kind of do a visit to, an official visit, and went over with my dad. And, once I got on campus, I ended up visiting Virginia, Florida State, Baylor, Texas A&M, and Georgia.
Wow.
And yeah, I guess Georgia just kind of ticked all the boxes for me. There was obviously things that each school did really well and some that did not so well and things. Yeah, so there's advantages to some and disadvantages to others. And I guess it just weighed up that Georgia was the best option for me at the time. Maybe there might have been a better school, but I just maybe didn't visit them. So who knows? But yeah, my time at Georgia was good.
Good. I'm glad that it was good for you. And for Georgia too, did you primarily play singles or doubles? Because now you're primarily a doubles player, but you still play singles from time to time.
Freshman year I played 2 in singles and 1 in doubles, and then from there on I was 1 in singles and 1 in doubles for the remaining years. I think I got All-American for everything except for my freshman year of singles. So no, I was definitely a singles player. I don't like to call myself a doubles player. I'm still definitely trying to pursue my singles career. Mm-hmm. This year I did focus a little more on my doubles with a couple of tournaments, like adding in Indian Wells and Miami to my schedule. And yeah, I think the reason for that was I was pursuing Olympics and Fed Cup.
Okay.
yeah, I feel like playing with Sam Stosur, that was a good opportunity to try and sneak onto the Fed Cup team, get some more matches with her, and hopefully play Olympics. But yeah, with everything that's going on, that kind of put a halt to that. So
Of
we'll
course.
reassess what I do going forward. But yeah, definitely want to do well in singles.
It seems like you talking about Sam Stosur and the Australian Fed Cup team. It seems like you guys have a good core group. I feel Australia is one of those countries that has been able to stand out no matter where the talent is. And how would are you guys a close knit group of people? Because I feel like you guys always are, no matter what. So it seems like you guys can rely on each other for advice and whatnot.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the Aussie culture, the Aussie way. We're all really close knit group. We're all, yeah, extremely good friends. I train with a lot of the girls that are on the Fed Cup team, and the other ones that are on the Fed Cup team, and I don't see as much in Brisbane. Yeah, when we're at tournaments and on the tour, we're just as good friends. And I think that plays to our advantage. Like having friends that you can always fall back on. Train around, have a good environment. I think it's important, and I think that's just kind of how we've always been. Yeah, I think the Americans also do a pretty good job at that too. So
No,
yeah.
we're okay. How did you all right, moving on to kind of your success in doubles. You seem like you've been hitting your stride recently, hitting top 50. You won 125K last year, I remember, with Louisa Stefani. It seems like where have you been finding that success to kind of in doubles recently? Because it seems like something clicked in you.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, obviously, you refine your skills. The more you play, obviously, your reflexes get a little better. You see the court. I've always felt like I've had good doubles instinct. I don't think I've got everything, all the skills down pat. Like I feel like there's room for improvement on returns and certain things like that. But I've always read the doubles game pretty well, and I think when I kind of get a roll on and can play quite a few doubles, I start to get some confidence and feel really good. And I'm one of those players that likes to move a lot at the net, and I feel pretty confident up there and can kind of predict where they'll go when I've seen the court a lot. But yeah, I mean, college obviously gave me some good doubles instincts and skills. But yeah, maybe even playing with Sam, I learned a few things. She's obviously a really good doubles player. But yeah, other than that, I don't know. I don't know if it's that my tennis has got that much better. I think it's just court time and being able to play a few more doubles.
No, I got you. It seems like Sam, especially, has been a very big influence on you when you play
Yeah, I
with
mean,
her.
I've only got to play with her twice, but I think obviously it's another huge thing is probably the belief. I feel like I belong now on the doubles thing transition, and I feel like in singles that's maybe what's holding me back. I think like, oh my god, they're 60 in the world, like damn, they're really good. Like I probably shouldn't beat them, whatever. Doubles, I go, oh, they're 20 in the world, like oh, it's okay. Like I can match them, or I've got a good shot, and it's they're such a good player, but because it's doubles, I changed my perspective. I don't know, and if I could maybe carry that to my singles, that would probably help me.
No, and I think you should definitely take credit in that, having that not blind confidence, but having the ability to go into every match. And I think that's what tennis is all about, going into any match and you feel like you can win no matter what. It doesn't matter who you're playing or what surface you're playing on. It seems like you've gained that confidence to on the doubles court at least, and hopefully transitioning it into singles to play without fearing anyone, because I feel like that's what tennis is.
Yeah, absolutely.
I continuing with the conversation with doubles. I recently just made a video about Bartolis doubles comments.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
I haven't
I
seen
know
your
you've
video.
spoken about it on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen your video that you posted, but I mean, I did read her comments, and I know that like Dabrowski came out with I think a great statement in regards to that. But yeah, I just think it's pretty insensitive. I think doubles is its own unique game in itself. I think we don't make the money that she's talking about. We don't have the entourage she's speaking of.
Hmm.
I think the doubles players have every right to the amount of money they kind of make, and maybe even more. And I think kind of her comment was definitely in the wrong, brought in the wrong light and the wrong intentions. But yeah, I don't think it was taken too seriously.
I personally just thought it was very offensive, especially to people like yourself and people that are very hardworking, that travel just as much as the singles players, maybe more, just to make the same amount of money, possibly as maybe like a top 50 player that plays maybe like 3 tournaments, even if they're injured. So you guys have to have a bigger grind sometimes than them. And when it comes to that kind of mentality, it's very hard to see why she would pick out doubles players, especially if, I don't know if you knew, but she was a top 20 doubles player in the world. For someone to say that, it's insulting.
Yeah, I think the big thing for her is the output and effort. I think she thinks that you don't obviously have to, have the same cardio or stamina, as a singles player. And, she's right. You're covering half a court, but, you still would get on the court the same amount of hours. You would still put in the same amount of gym work. You'd still, do the same amount of weeks and sacrifices. And then there's the other unique things you do in practice that they're not doing for their singles. And I think, I think it's just the wrong comment that she made, because there's other things that go into being a doubles player. But yeah.
No, I completely agree. And I think what I wanted to hear your opinion of why more people should be watching doubles, because I feel like a lot of people see it, they go, oh, it's just doubles, it's not like the big all-time singles type of matchup. But why do you think people should watch doubles?
I think doubles is pretty entertaining. It's very fast-paced. You see some points that are just like so awesome to see. Like, the skills come out. It's a lot more hands-on, savvy. Touch is involved. For me, you get to really see how talented someone is in doubles. And yeah, I mean, it's not often, like, tennis is a very individual sport, and there's, that element of teamwork in doubles, and a whole different side of tactics. And I think, it's its own game in itself. And I feel like you can even watch a top singles player go and play on the doubles court, and it's like you see them in a different light as well. Like, I don't know, like a Sabalenka and Mertens, for example, extremely good singles players, but then you go and watch them in doubles and you're like, wow, they do that really well too. I didn't know they were great volleyers. They maybe don't come to the net very much in singles, and it's just good to see all the elements of a player, I think. So yeah.
I like that, because for singles players to transition into doubles seamlessly, it seems like with Sabalenka and Mertens, both top 30 women's singles players, but then they come together and they're top 10 in doubles as well. Didn't Barty do that as well? She was a top 10 doubles player as well.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing Ash can't do.
Facts.
But yeah. Yeah, she's a great example too. There's quite a few of them. A lot of singles players, if they put in some effort into the doubles, they're pretty good. Extremely good.
And I think that's overlooked as well, because they work maybe twice as hard, because they play a singles match and then later they have to play a doubles match, and they play just as hard as they did in their singles match probably 3 hours earlier. So I wanted to talk about the US Open. It's the latest news. It's what's been going on recently. We talked earlier before we started recording that you qualify within that spot to play the doubles draw, correct?
Yeah, should do it. It's a 32 doubles draw, and they're only accepting the doubles ranking when going towards those 32 pairings. And sitting at around 40 in the world, that should see me, if I pair up with the right person, that I get in. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, while we're recording, will you go to the tournament?
Honestly, since it's come out a day ago, I haven't really put a lot of thought in. I mean, I think the consensus with a lot of the players was, would we go if it's put on, is kind of like, yes. Do we really want to go? Probably not. But yeah, I think I would go. I am trying to pursue a lot more singles, so I know there is going to be some 25s and 60s on around the world, but I don't know if that's much better of an option, and if they'll even go ahead, because they may not be following, the COVID protocols and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I don't even know if Sam's going to go. For example, I haven't spoken to any of the players. I wouldn't even know who I'm going to play with, to be honest, yet. So as of right now, I think I would be going, but who, with, when, how it's going to look, I'm not that optimistic about it all.
No, it's okay. I think the other part to the question is, how did you find out about the US Open happening? Was there a formal email sent to the WTA? Did you find out, like, some of the people, like, I remember Duckworth tweeted out that he's finding out all this stuff on Twitter. Like, is that true?
I think the ATP and WTA have been very separate in their ways about communicating information. I know the WTA has been very good about keeping us in the loop, especially the top, 200, 250 players. We have a WTA call every Thursday, Friday that people can join in. And yeah, they've been updating us on, schedule, return to play protocols, just everything they're doing with the virus, what's going ahead, what's not. And they came to light that the USTA would be making this decision this week from Monday onwards. We didn't know exactly what day, what time, how it would be released. And it wasn't up to the WTA to release it. I think it was up to the USTA to release it. So that release did come on Twitter. And I guess just through, being on Twitter or seeing people retweet and whatnot, that's how I kind of saw it. Mm-hmm. And then, the WTA did kind of send out an email saying, I'm sure you've seen the release from the USTA director, whatnot, more information to come tomorrow. So, we are in the loop. Maybe we're not the first people to find out, but we do kind of find out. I think it's definitely the WTA is doing a better job than the ATP in terms of information. But yeah.
No, that's something I can definitely agree with you with, because I feel like a lot of the ATP players that I've spoken to, or at least that I've heard talking about, is kind of everything's in the dark at this point. That there's not much else that you can do when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I before we go, I just want to remind people that Ellen is a monster when it comes to battling the elements. I remember, and I will tell this story because I remember in Houston, it was probably 25, 30 degrees in November, and Ellen's just in a sports bra and leggings, while there's like two people over there wearing a full-on parka while they're hitting a forehand.
I wouldn't say I'm the smartest person. Everyone's in tights and a skirt on top, and then a shirt and long sleeves, and then like their puffy jumpers, and there I am in just a skirt and a top, and
animal.
And I'm playing matches in that, and I was like really cold. But I hate.
Stop! You don't have to say you're cold. You literally did that like multiple times. I remember I woke up that morning and I put on shorts and those like dry fit like long sleeves under my shirt, and I was still freezing my ass off. And Ellen's out there and I asked her, she's like, "Nah, it's fine." I was like, what?
We got to this point where the tournament was giving out hand warmers.
Yes,
it was that cold. We had freezing rain. It was a brutal week, but I survived in skirt and top. So I think that says something about me.
Well, she won the doubles tournament there. It was a WTA 125K. So she's doing something right. Maybe.
Never putting on a jumper again.
No matter what.
Never.
Well, Ellen, I really appreciate you coming on. This was a lot of fun, and I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day and not going to bed too early for us.
No, of course. Thanks for having me.
No problem. If you want to check out what she's doing, I would definitely recommend going to her Instagram. She does a lot of fun stuff. She's a good jokester, too. Her latest TikTok with Gavrilo is really fun to watch. So definitely go check that out. The link is in the description below. So thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it.